Hello students, I am Dr. Shweta from Community Medicine Department. Today we will be seeing measurements in epidemiology. Firstly, we will start with a question. Number of exposed persons developing a disease during the incubation period following exposure to a primary case is called as. So the answer is secondary attack rate. So we'll see how it is. So firstly, talking about the prevalence. So what is prevalence is? It is the proportion of persons having the disease out of the total subjects who were examined. So prevalence can be two types, that is point prevalence and period prevalence. Point prevalence is number of cases, that is both old and new cases at any point of time. Whereas period prevalence, it is only there is an initial point and an end point, and the total period number of cases between the period is taken into consideration. But when we talk only prevalence, that is during the research studies and all, it means point prevalence. So with an example, if we go, what is point prevalence and period prevalence? So for a period of January 2001 to 2002, okay, this is period prevalence I'm talking about. So during the period, how many cases were there? So to see, so the lines which are passing to the January 2002 and 2001 and 2 will be included in the period prevalence, okay. So and also when we talk about only point prevalence at January 2001, so then we will consider the lines, dotted lines which are passing through the point of line of January 2001. So they are all the cases which will be included, and the denominator will be 100, okay. So that will be the prevalence. Next, coming to incidence. So incidence is we take into account only the new cases which occurred during the study period, and also it always includes the denominator is at risk, that is population at risk. Whereas in prevalence, we take the denominator as total population who were examined. Whereas in incidence, it is only the at risk population. And also incidence always ends up with a period of time. You always should specify during the period of 1 year, okay, in the unit. Okay, there are two types, cumulative incidence and incidence density. So when we talk about cumulative incidence, it is nothing but incidence, that is number of new cases during a period of time. So same way we will take January 2001 to 2002. So how many new cases appeared? Here we will not take the lines which have started before the period of January 2001. We only take into consideration those lines which started between. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. These 5 will be considered in the incidence. But one more thing which I already told is population at risk you have to calculate. So here the denominator is not 100, but you have to exclude these number of cases because they started before the study point, okay, and they are already immune or they are not susceptible. So you have to exclude these people from the total population examined. So this is about the incidence. So next, move on to incidence density. See, incidence density is used for chronic conditions. So here we are following the seeing who all developed carcinoma cervix for a follow-up period of 7 years. That is, at 7 years, who would have had or who had cancer cervix. We see that only 2 of them followed the entire completed the entire 7 years, and they were positive for cancer cervix at 7 years. Whereas the others which are marked as X, they all cancer detected in between the study. So they will not be included to calculate. So incidence density is calculated as 2 divided by the total number of years, person years examined, that is 29 years into 1000. Okay, the answer is 70 per 1000 person years. So this is incidence density and it is used for chronic diseases. So what is the relationship between incidence and prevalence? So this is a very famous picture given in Park. Incidence is which is the new water which is added during a period of time, whereas prevalence includes all the things, that is the old water as well as the new water which is added. The only thing which is excluded in the prevalence is those people who recovered and those people who died. So here is a problem of incidence and prevalence. Here we followed up people, 1000 children, and at 1/1/95, 10 of them were suffering from measles. So the prevalence will be 10 divided by 1000. Okay, whereas when we go for incidences, we see that suffering from measles are 10, previously suffered are 40, and also vaccinated are 50. So at risk population is only 1000 minus 100, that is 900. So the denominator at population of risk will be 900, and at the end of the follow-up of 1 year, 90 of them develop the measles. So this is incidence. Coming to secondary attack rate, as I already defined it, that is those who, among the susceptible persons, how many of them will develop the disease after exposure to a primary case during the one incubation period. That will be secondary attack rate, and it is multiplier is 100. So in this example, we will see there are 6 members in the family. 2 parents are already immune to measles, and there are 4 children who are susceptible to measles. Among them, the first case appears among the one of the child. So that child is the primary case, and within a short period of time, 2 other children are affected. So here 2 is the total children who are affected, and 3 is the number of susceptibles. Why 3? Because we will not include the primary case in the denominator. Only the susceptibles will be included. So the secondary attack rate is 66.6%. There are certain limitations. It can't be used in infectious diseases with very short infective period, nor with a longer duration of infective period. And also, it is not very feasible to calculate number of susceptibles in some of the diseases like influenza. Thank you.